Hey, and welcome to the next episode of the Next 90%. I'm Aaron.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dobbins.
I'm Caitlin. Today, our guest is the founder of Shamrock Fitness, the leader of the Sham Fam, Mr. Travis Mahaffey. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
We wanted to welcome you here. Here at the Next 90%, we like to talk about people's journeys. We'd love to hear about yours, kind of how you got from A to Z, what got you started here, where did how did you make it to become an instructor? Tell us a little bit about what got you started with making your journey towards the point that you're at now.
All right. Well, Cliff Notes. I've always kind of been in the helping people kind of aspect. I started out as a 14-year-old in the rescue squad. So I was in the rescue squad, and then as I graduated high school, I was in the military and the fire department. So I was always in the service industry. Even after the military, I was a bartender, so I took that service industry a little different, but so I always feel connected to people and helping people. So my wife was taking jujitsu, and at the gym that she was training at, they offered this fitness class, and I thought I didn't need it. I did, um, and we became really tight with the family there, and we started helping teaching the classes. So we taught those classes for 3 years, and it was great. And they needed the space for more jujitsu. So the classes ended. We kind of were in limbo. Didn't have any. I'm not a gym guy, so I was just kind of looking around, and I came across DDP yoga, and I found it great program. And not only did I think it was a great program, I saw instantly how it helped me, helped my neck, and so I just moved forward with that. And then how awesome this community was. It was just meant to be as far as coming in and trying to become an instructor. And then I didn't really think it would go that far. I just thought, well, I'll just become an instructor and teach locally. And I've had the pleasure of meeting all these people around the world, including you guys.
That's phenomenal. So I know that a big part of who you are, as knowing you as a person, is like you said, caring for other people. And I know that you particularly started Smitty's run last year. But if you could kind of talk to people about who Smitty was, and what led you to creating this space, and just why do this?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, Smitty was a loving husband and father, first and foremost. And but Smitty and I met in 1994. We were both stationed in Germany, and we were both in the fire department. And as anyone knows, with the fire department, you become a family as well. And not only just being in the fire department, being in another country with no family, you really become family with these guys. So we spent 3 years together over there, and 3 years over there in Germany seems like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It's really weird how that is, the connection that you make. Uh, so we met in 1994, and we kept in touch after we both got out of the military. Smitty cross trained. He went from the fire department. He became a nurse, and as he retired uh, from the U.S. Air Force, he was a captain. So he went from non-commissioned to a commissioned officer. Smitty's just an all-around good dude. He's just the type of guy that made you want to be a better person. You know how you have your circle of friends, and you become who your circle of friends are. Well, Smitty's that guy you want in your circle of friends. He's the dude who makes you want to be a better person, better man, better husband, better friend, just all around good dude. Um, Loved outdoors, loved hunting. Um, you know, never saw him without a smile. Just most incredible smile, most incredible person in the world.
That's amazing. So, if you could talk about kind of how, you know, this came to be that you wanted to create this memorial. What happened in your journey with him? Unfortunately, I know that you had lost him, and I, you know, how does that tie to the community, and tie to you wanting to create this with your fitness community?
Okay, well, Smitty himself was quite an avid health nut. He was a runner, and toward in his sickness, he started to even get a little healthy as far as the food is concerned. He really didn't pay that much attention to his food before he got sick, but he was a runner. He did love to run. So before he passed away, while he was sick, I always like to say that he didn't die. He didn't lose his battle with cancer. He lived his life while having cancer because he wasn't. He battled. Don't get me wrong. He battled, but he didn't lose it. He lived his life to the fullest to the day. But so his wife's friend is in the school system that they grew up in. She's a teacher, and they had a fundraiser for Smitty. And what they were going to do was they were going to give the money to Smitty and just let him go on any sort of vacation he wanted because he has two small children. And Smitty, being the cool guy that he is, he didn't need it. He said, "Let's do this. Let's give this money that you raised for me back to the school, and we'll give this to two graduating students." Right? He thought nothing of it. So the next year, they had the 5K, a community 5K, and they created the Smith Scholarship Award. So Smith is his last name: service, merit, integrity, truth, and honor. And the qualities that these two seniors have to show that they're carrying throughout their life is the Smith qualities here. And so what they did was they created this 5K, and we ran that 5K the first year. So that 5K, it was a community 5K. So they donated $500, I believe it was, to the Smith Award. So Robin and I were talking about what we could do to make it a little more. And so we created Smitty's Run. And Smitty's Run is tied into the community because there's a load of people who don't like to run or can't run, So we didn't want to leave those people out, right? So it's a 5K. You can walk it, you can bike it, you can crawl it, we'll get into it, but we're going to have a DDPY Marathon. You can do anything you want. You can get in your truck and you can drive a 5K if you want. That's no problem. We're not going to judge you however you get that 5K done. You don't even have to run a 5K. You can just donate to Smitty's Run if you want to. But anyway, so the 5K came about, and to be honest with you, I thought maybe 20 people at the most would run it. So I bought 50 medals. Instantly, all 50 medals were sold. I had to buy 20 more, which is super cool. And so total donations last year were $2,224.
That's awesome.
And
Wow.
that is awesome. So this year we have 66 medals already sold. So that's awesome. We have 150 purchased.
Yeah, do you have one of them handy so you can show us?
Yes. I'm wearing last year's shirt. So this is last year's. And thanks to Ryan Nichols, he has been a super big part in helping me get the website going, getting all the information out there. So this year's front shirt is going to look like so.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And then, of course, the back is going to be similar, but we're just going to have the yellows. And the yellow is significant to the sarcoma ribbon that Smitty had. And so that's that. And last year's medal the medals are usually match the shirt, right? And so again, Pins by Design is the people who do our medals for us, and they're absolutely amazing. They're metal. And she even sent me, last year we had a generic, sorry about that. Last year we had generic font for Smitty's Run, and she noticed this year, she said, "Why don't we run the font like the shirt?" And I was like, wow, that's some attention to detail there. So Alice at Pins by Design is awesome. She's super cool. So with that said, Smitty's Run is at smittysrun.com. Oddly enough, we were able to get all the social media names. Smitty's Run on Facebook, Smitty's Run on social media, on Instagram. And weirdly enough, Smitty's Run is the name of a horse, a racehorse. So I thought surely that all of those would be taken, but not. And to join us on Smitty's Run, you have several options. It's a one-man show getting this out. So you email me at smittysrun@gmail.com. In the website, there's different packages you have. Everything from a single t-shirt hoodie, to a medal only. You could even drop me a note saying, hey, I just want to donate. That's fine. And then leading up to what we're going to have is a 6-hour DDPY marathon.
Wow.
And real quick, let me grab I have my schedule. We have a schedule here, believe it or not. Because we have some amazing, I put a note out there to some people and, just kind of reached out to a few people, and we've had some amazing instructors that said, yeah, I would love to be part of this. And Matt, I'll send you this as well, but it's going to start at 9 a.m. on May 7th. This is the DDPY Marathon. Now, the run, you can run anytime, anywhere. It's virtual. You can do it any day. You can run it 3 times if you want.
And for the record, this online DDPY marathon is approved.
Dallas, I have spoken to Dallas directly, and he told me that I can say Dallas is sanctioning this, and he's cool with us running a Zoom class. So for those of you who have missed your instructors, this is a good way to get 11 instructors have stepped up with this to do this. So I'm going to try to not murder some names here. So 9 a.m. and they're going to be roughly 45-minute classes with 15-minute breaks. And you don't have to do every class. You can do every class. You can take a nap and come back. The link is going to be open. So it's up to you to get into whatever class you want. But we have some fantastic level 2 instructors from Italy. It's going to start off at 9 a.m. to 9:45. And that's Laura. I'm going to hope I don't murder her name. It's Maccabiani. Laura Maccabiani, and Alessandro Ametti. Okay, those 2 are going to be knocking it off, and those 2 are actually, I believe they're married, but either way, they are a couple, and they're level 2 instructors, and they're absolutely amazing people. And then we're going to have a break after that, and then at 10 to 10:45, we're going to have Boz and Lavinia. Boz is probably just going to be chunking stuffed animals at Lavinia because he's nursing his back. And I think he has only a stuffed animal weight that he's able to lift, so that's where Boz is going to be. So Steve Highland is going to be tag teaming with Lavinia, and then we're going to have a break. And then at 11 a.m. we have Laura Kiani. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Laura Kiani. She is an instructor from Scotland. She's an amazing person. We've been trying to get together to do some tag team stuff, and unfortunately some things towards the end of the year didn't work out, but this is an amazing chance for her to get out and show her amazing skills. And she's going to be tag teaming with Beverly Booma.
Nice.
And then Beverly's badass. Yeah. And then at 12 o'clock we're going to have Scott French and Ryan Hobbs. And then we're going to have and then at 1 p.m. we're going to have Stacy Pogorski. We're going to have Brian White and Bruce Nelson.
Ooh, that'd be one to catch. Warrior Monk.
Yes. And then at 2 to 2:45 is the last class, and it's going to be myself and Mark DeSico. And we're going to be doing a flexibility coaching class. So we're going to close it out with something nice and semi-gentle. So we'll post that up. That'll be in many different spots, but this schedule will be posted up, and hopefully if you want to join, and if you want to only join through the link and you don't want to maybe buy any bling, then the link itself will be $15, and you get 6 hours of classes for $15. So it's pretty daggone good.
And that's with 100% of the proceeds going to Smitty's, right?
100% of the proceeds will be going to the Smith Scholarship Award.
That's awesome. That's amazing. That's a lot of talent donation right there in your 6-hour class.
Yeah. And next year,
Amazing.
what we're going to be doing, I thank you guys for that. And not to jump too soon ahead, but I'm always planning ahead, man. Next year, I've actually talked to Smitty's wife, and I've asked her what are some other things that he was interested in, and mental health was one of the big things that he was in. So what I'm going to be doing next year is I'm going to be getting with her because I want her blessing of where this money's going to go. And we're going to be doing something towards and for mental health as well as donating to the Smith Scholarship Award.
That's awesome. Very much needed.
So, particularly, I was curious if you could talk on how the Shamrock Fitness is now evolved. I know some people have been curious who might not be members of the community. You're hearing a lot about Fam, Shamrock Fitness, and kind of how does that exist today? Who's part of it, and all of that.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? Because we all try to come up with a question for each guest, and this kind of ties into my question. So mine can lead into this.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So when you started teaching in, was it the first of 2020 online for free? Because I think you did what, 400 or 500 like freeze, like online classes. Wasn't that something crazy?
Yeah,
like
I was teaching in 2019. Yeah, I started
Okay.
teaching in basically October of 2019 was when I started teaching. I started DDPY in December of 2018. And
Okay.
very soon realized that this was what I needed to come into this practice and start teaching. So yeah, October 2019.
So when you started teaching all your free online classes, did you have any idea of what you were going to be creating like 2 to 3 years down the road like that? Did you have any idea of like where you were going to be heading at that point?
Not one bit. Not one bit. We started when I started teaching. Of course, it was pre-COVID, and I had a classroom full of local people in the jujitsu gym where we were, teaching. And COVID came in, the gym shut down, but previously, like right before COVID, this is how I started teaching online. I have a cousin in Texas, and she was interested in what I was doing. And I said, well, the best thing I can do is maybe go live and you can see what I'm doing while I'm going live. And that's how I started going live. And it was just me by myself with maybe her on there in the very beginning. And no, I had no clue. And, in the live aspect, it's weird how it kind of morphed. It went from Facebook Live to where I didn't see a soul to where I just saw names popping up till you go to a Zoom base and you get to see people's faces. And then you can see not only faces, but what they're doing in the workout and maybe help them and talk afterwards. And there's so much more that you can do now as then. No, I had no clue that it would go from me acting like a nut in front of a camera out in my building, what I call the kill room, to now I'm trying to make everything look as professional as I can and still not working.
Part of the charm,
Okay.
a rustic charm.
All right. So now where's Shamrock Fitness now?
Okay. So Shamrock Fitness now is actually blossoming into a beautiful platform. Not only the instructors, but the people. It's just an amazing, amazing group of people. So where we have gone, it's not just myself teaching out in the building anymore live. We have some great instructors. We have Beverly Booma. She's teaching classes. She's going through her 200-hour yoga training. We have Dr. Marcel Dore. He is doing his functional fitness classes. He's also specializing in back pain in his personal practice. And we also have Bruce Nelson. He's going to be soon going through his power yoga training as well. And we've had some amazing instructors go and come, and we've also recently had the pleasure of having Stephen Urban. Most of you might even know him as Stephen David in the internet world, but he is a level 2 DDPY instructor, and he went and expanded his practice in such a great way that I've been watching him and admiring what he's doing. And I look at him even as a mentor, to be honest with you. And he has now joined Shamrock Fitness for a couple of days a week, as well as Project Mayhem. So there's going to be people that get to see Stephen now that hasn't been able to see him, that maybe has only seen him briefly through some early DDPY apps and interviews. But the dude is absolutely amazing. If you let him, he'll take you on a journey that you will definitely enjoy. So with that said, to finally answer your question, Justin, Shamrock Fitness is definitely grown in a great way. So we have, not only do we have those great instructors and those great people, but I have a dude that is backing me up, that has helped me. And I know I've said this a lot of times, but Jason Sparks, if it was not for Jason Sparks, I would not have Shamrock Fitness. I'd be sending out, I would have Shamrock Fitness, but what I would be doing is sending out generic links to people, and it would just be, it would be like, hey, if you want to pay me, send me something to PayPal and whatever, we can get this done. Jason, within a few weeks, he built my website. He's done everything. If anything you see Shamrock Fitness behind the scenes, it's Jason Sparks. So I'm truly grateful for that.
He certainly does pretty good promos, eh? With the the voice is smooth as cream cheese on a bagel.
Yeah, warm cream cheese on a bagel.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I know that you have a lot of ideas going forward, but like because we are the next 90, where do you envision or hope to take this next? Where do you see this going? What are your hopes for the future of Shamrock?
My hopes for the future of Shamrock is eventually taking it out on the road. So briefly, Justin and I have started a little bit of maybe what you see in the shirt there, St Shamrock and Savage Tour. And that was great. We only got a small taste of what we can do out, once we get out and about. So my vision is to eventually take Shamrock and go and meet everyone, and go and have, you can put names on them if you want to call them retreats or get-togethers or hangouts or whatnot. So we're eventually planning even, we're planning a retreat in Colorado. So that's one thing that we're doing, and we're just planning to take. It's not about the workout as well. We're looking to take Shamrock Fitness to the next level, and what's that next level going to be? Mindfulness. Where's your mind, and how can you calm your mind? That's really the main point of yoga. These guys that were meditating for so long, their muscles were starting to atrophy, and then they started to move. That's the whole purpose of movement during yoga. Yoga itself is stillness and calming your mind and all that. So that's the next level, and we're looking at bringing in. I'm doing some things with Justin, and we're looking at bringing in some real deal people. This isn't just cookie cutter. We want to pat you on the back and make you feel good. We want to really look into seeing what we can do to help people, whether we help people or whether we help people get the help they need. Yeah.
So I know that you two had the road trips. I don't know if you and Justin want to talk a little bit about your experience. Maybe what's the next journey going to be planning? What are you thinking? But how was it trapped in the car for many hours a day? What give us the behind the scenes details here?
That was eight days and 2,000 miles. So
Yeah.
and then another 900 for me to get home. So that was a long week, but 8 days in the car, and typically I can't spend more than 2 or 3 days with somebody, but be like, okay, well, I'm finished, and not a problem. It was great to travel for the few hours a day. But what was really good was like getting out, getting in the group, working out, having good, answering questions. Several people we met along the way were at different stages of, either losing weight or trying to get their head wrapped around it. Being able to have those conversations with them face to face versus, trying to text it out. Because I don't know if anybody's messaged me, but it takes me forever and a day to message about 2 lines. So it was real good. And it was also good to actually get in those group workouts, because live group workouts with the group of people, there's an energy there that it just can't be beat. Like-minded people doing the same workout. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much going to piggyback on what he said. I'm I'm a pretty laid back, easygoing guy. Justin immediately, as soon as I arrived at Justin's house, it's really strange. I felt like I was at my house. That's how Elise welcomed me and Justin welcomed me. So instantly, I felt comfortable. So there were no guards put up. There was nothing, nothing, no fronts or anything like that. I was myself. Justin was himself. Super awesome, which makes it a whole lot easier when you're not having to be something that you're not. And so yeah, the whole road trip with me is, if I didn't have a family or get back to a job, we could have kept going around the country. So
What was kind of funny was anytime I just totally lose it and just rage out, Travis would be over there, just be like, "It's all right, man. Calm down. Just calm down, man." And it just, did you see that? It's all right, man. Just calm down. Okay, well, it's all right. So it was kind of that perfect mix of, it's okay, calm down. All right.
So you're telling us we need to get you a dash cam for the next trip?
Yes.
Okay, well, the next one we're going to have to get some more gear because we're going to have to kind of watch our language, or Matt's going to have to get real quick on that.
yeah,
I will say that the outtakes were hilarious. I should have put a blooper reel together.
Well, we never
we can
thought
still
about,
probably do that.
we never got the mount in the car. We never thought about that when we were passing a Walmart or something. It was always when we're at a truck stop and they're $90. It's like, we'll get one at a Walmart.
All those mission
we were
shenanigans,
we went in such amateur about it. We had an idea of what we wanted, but we went in and we totally didn't know kind of what we were doing. But I think amateur wise, I think we did okay and we had fun with it. And you can tell at the beginning we were a little bit not necessarily camera shy, but we're like, we don't know what to say on camera or what to put on camera. And then towards the end, we didn't care. We were just, we were going to restaurants with the cameras and, whatnot. So I think the next road trip will be better. And to answer that question, where, I don't know. We kind of promised some places and got some people excited. So I think what we're going to do is maybe wait closer till we make a solid decision. And I will say this: if it's wintertime, it's going to be in the south, and if it's summertime, it's probably going to be in the north. So
you can come right on up to Canada. We'll
I was just going to say, Aaron and I are totally toasty right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
T-shirt. We're good.
Yeah, I get up there and it's cold. I'll go right back home.
I have a fireplace to share. It's fine.
So I will say that we have talked about doing a Texas trip at some point, and then we've also Chicago, Cincinnati. That's kind of one of those areas that we really wanted to hit. But when you start looking at a 9-hour drive day and then a workout and then dinner, and then you got to get to sleep because guess what? You're in the car 9 hours the next day. Those 3 to 4 hour jaunts will be fun. So
yeah.
Did you guys have to take a lot of stops to sort of stretch your back out? Did you do any of the movements like catcher or anything just to try and...
We did some, but Travis is like one of those little kids driving down the road. Did you see that sign? We're going to stop there. Why do we need to stop? We stopped at Uranus Fudge Factory. One of the most slightly off places. Yeah, no, it was. But we stopped there. The City Museum in St. Louis. I mean, there was all kinds of little things that he'd be like, "Do you see that sign? We need to stop there." Okay. So,
well, it's one thing that my wife can tell you is I fly by the seat of my pants. I do not like an itinerary. I really don't. So with that said, the very first thing, Justin made the mistake. I had no idea of what the City Museum in St. Louis was, but I will tell you this: if you ever visit St. Louis, you must go to the City Museum. Now, I know Justin didn't want to go. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I said it so much, like a 10-year-old kid. Justin's finally like, "All right, we're gonna go."
Yeah,
but I think Justin had a good time. It was fun.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely an experience. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland meets Saw. I mean, am I wrong?
That's perfect.
I mean, other than you don't get hurt. I mean, but there's like a lot of, well, you went up on some of those things that were 60 feet in the air and it's wobbling back and forth. And I'm standing over there holding on to the building, like holding the camera going, yeah, that's cool. Come on. So, I'm walking on some of these catwalks looking at the welds going, ooh, I don't know how that got past inspection. There's like 6 welds on this one section that weren't even like, the metal wasn't touching. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, being kind of
I feel like
vague
the metal
with the
guy
60-foot
saying
thing. Yeah. Well, that's what he said when he walked out. He goes, "Oh, I don't trust anyone else's wells." And I'm like, "I do," and I'm just out there just humping it out there. Now, one of the things that he was talking about, the 60 feet in the air, they have this airplane that's way up in the air, and everything's encaged, right? It's metal cages, so there's no way that you could fall out. So you crawl up these little narrow things, and you climb in the plane. You can walk around and look, and then there's another rainbow kind of
We'll pop a picture of
metal
it in.
thing. Metal thing that you walk out of. It's really crazy. So you get up in the top of that, and that was the wobbly part. I was like, man, this thing is awful trusting. But highly
And then
recommend.
the 10-story curly slide.
That was amazing.
Yeah, there's you go all the way up in this warehouse, and it's like one of those curly slides from the playground, but it's 10 stories and it's metal.
What that originally was, that was a shoe factory to begin with, and that was a chute that they would just throw things down, and they reinforced it to turn it into a slide.
The best was the video of it where he's sitting on his jacket and you hear the metal buttons clicking, and you hear it's going click, 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 click.
And I don't know if you heard it in my video or not. I went down the 5-story slide because I looked at because he's like, okay, if you want to go up 5 more stories, you've got to go up the spiral staircase that's like this wide, and each step goes as I'm going up, and I'm like, 5 stories is enough. The 5-story one though ends in like this metal bowl, and you got to crawl through this hole. So if we would have gone a few years ago, I would have got down in there, and I'd even have to crawl back up that slide, or they would have to cut me out because wouldn't have worked.
Oh, wow.
Now the really funny bit of that is this place is so amazing and so crazy. You just have to YouTube it because there's no map, right? But you can like Justin said, maybe you slide down a 10-story slide, maybe you slide down a 5-story slide, maybe you crawl up in a hole and you go up into a second floor. Parents were losing their kids so much so that there was one guy screaming his kid's name who was Justin, and he kept going, Justin, and Justin was saying, what? It was so hilarious. And then they finally said his last name, so it's hilarious.
Yeah, then they did that, and I was like, oh, yeah. I thought it was Travis. I mean, for a minute, because like he did the 10-story slide and kept going, and I'm sitting there in this bowl going, I don't know how to get out of here. And then I hear somebody yelling Justin, and I'm like, that's weird, but okay, what? And it went on for about 3 or 4 minutes, and the dad's like, wait a minute. So, but it was just so crazy. I think I have footage of St Shamrock playing the piano. I'll have to add that on at the end too. That could be the closing credit, Matt. That'll be great.
There you go.
So no, I recommend doing it. Just get out there and find somebody and go on a road trip if you can. I mean, it was a good time, and definitely plan on doing more because it really helped me out. Getting out and about. I broke through a lot of stuff and did a lot of stuff I never would have done. And it was a great time. Met some amazing people. Actually got to eat at a Brazilian steakhouse with Dr. Two, Thomas Valent. We'd always been joking and talking about that. We actually made it happen on one part of the trip, so that was great. Met up with a whole herd of people in Greensboro. Brian Jones came up from Florida. The High family was there. Lily Yancey showed up. Heather came with Tom. So, I mean, we had a big crowd.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And hopefully, with that said, back to Smitty's run a little bit, we are having people come to Greensboro to run Smitty's run. So if you're feeling like a trip and you want to come and hang out with us on May 7th and and then even continue, because we're gonna do the run near the hotel, and we're gonna go back and do some of the DDPY classes together. So if you feel like coming to Greensboro and hanging out with us, just reach out to me and we'll get you sorted on that.
That's awesome.
Sounds good.
So so I know you mentioned it earlier, but you just want to kind of remind people where to find you, where to find Smitty's, all your socials.
All right. You can find me at Shamrock Fitness on Facebook. And you can also find our classes at shamrockfitness.org. And that lists all of our classes, descriptions, how to book them, all that jazz. The Real Shamrock Fitness on Instagram, smittysrun.com. And if you do want to join that, it's not like your typical race sign up, just to let you know early on and not let you get confused. You're just emailing me your package size or your package and your sizes, and then I'll email you a form of payment after that. So smittysrun.com there.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you so much for coming on, y'all. I mean, I really can't encourage you enough to participate in Smitty's. Like he said, walk, run, crawl, whatever you got to do. Take a drive on your motorcycle, whatever makes you float your boat. Just participate. So we'll hope to see you all May 7th. Travis, thank you so much for being on as a member of the Sham Fam. It is my deep appreciation, and I know we all appreciate having you here. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
And thanks for joining us on the next 90%. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Bye, y'all.